Hi, this is JD Movie Review. I am Justin DeRoy, and today I'll be finally reviewing Man of Steel. This is one of my most anticipated films of the year, and I'm super excited to finally be doing this review. Don't really need to go into much of synopsis on this one because, pretty much everyone, knows the whole story of Superman, story of this alien child whisked away from his dying planet in hopes that, he might be able to live on and carry on, the legacy of his planet and his, family. Go into, some of the interesting things, though, that I like that they had done with this one. And, first of all, I just like that it's finally the Superman that we've been wanting. Not, a continuation of the Christopher Reeve films, which, I admit I liked the Christopher Reeve films. But, those are what, 3 decades old now? More than that? It needed something fresh. We needed something new. Not, Superman Returns, which I also didn't think was a bad film, but we don't need a continuation of the Christopher Reeve films. And I just love that finally we get something new, something fresh, something, that is made for a new audience. And I just love that we finally have that now. Anyway, again, like I said, things I like that they had done differently with this new one was going a little deeper into, his journey, Clark or Kal-El's journey of becoming Superman. The original versions, it kind of skips over that, whole journey he had to really go through because you didn't really see much. You saw, his father dies, he leaves, he ends up going, to the middle of the, I don't know, I can't remember, where he goes off to somewhere into the Antarctic or something like that, where it's all ice and stuff for some reason. Ends up finding this Fortress of Solitude and learns about his history, and then jumps ahead and he's living in Metropolis, and now he's Superman. There's no story behind this. Just jumps ahead. It's I'm a superhero. I'm gonna do superhero things. I love the go more in depth about that. He travels the world and stuff like that, and trying to do good wherever he can, and shows the struggle he had to go through of trying to understand who he is and who he wants to be with these magnificent abilities he has, and especially the struggle part. You don't really see that especially as a child, how dramatic. We wouldn't ever really think about that, how it was for him as a child to have to, go through these transitions of learning how to use these abilities he has. And I just really like that. I really like when that big change was something they did with the Zod character. I loved, the original Zod, the whole Kneel Before Zod, this really evil, dominating character who just wants, destroy, mayhem, and just conquer. But in this one, they make him a little more noble. I like that. That he's looking to basically becoming, the ultimate ruler of his not the human race, I'm sorry, but of his own kind. But he wants to rule them, to try to better them, to do things the right way, because he comes from this society that's corrupt and was basically leading their own people into destruction, and he wanted to try and fix that. He wanted to try and fix their society, and basically ultimately he was just trying to do what he thought was best for his people. And of course, many people who think that, they're the good guy doing, things for the greater good, he went completely evil and ballistic trying to do so. But he had good intentions for why he was doing this, why he was trying to enslave the mankind, why he was trying to conquer his people, because he wanted to conquer them, to rule them, and set them on the path that he thought would make them a truly great race. And I like that because, you know, it wasn't just like some psychotic man and just bent on just, you know, world domination and destruction. It gave him real character. I like that. Some things, though I didn't like I didn't really enjoy like what they did with the Pac character. This is a bit of a spoiler, but they kind of changed off his death. You know, like in the original one, he dies and stuff like that, and there's a whole grieving process for Clark. But this is one of the mentors he had, someone who's trying to like teach him like how to deal with what he is now gone, and they changed it to make his death more heroic. I'm not going to go into the details, but they changed it so he has this kind of more heroic death, dying to help basically keep Clark's secrets, rather than like, you know, most of the time it involves with him dying of a heart attack or something like that, natural causes. And I felt it is better off just being like that, because, you know, I love the scene in the original one where he's grieving to his mother about how his father dies, and, you know, and he's like, with all these powers, I was helpless to save him. And I thought it was a great life lesson, you know, just basically saying, you know, death of the people I know and love is inevitable. Death of people in general is inevitable, and I can't do anything about it, even with these powers. And I thought there was a great life lesson from Learn, and they kind of changed it by changing how his father dies in this new version. Also, like, there is a darker toned Superman, but it's not really a dark Superman. It's a Superman that's kind of living in more darker times. I still felt he was still that kind of a light-hearted character, you know, remember from, like, you know, on the TV adaptation, movie adaptation, so like that, because that's usually as big. This is really kind of light-hearted character. He's not really dark and, you know, brutal or anything like that. I still felt that was there. It's just like they showed this whole dark story of like how it was for him to grow up in this world and stuff like that. I also like it. They make it kind of realistic of like how the human race would deal with something like this. What would be our reaction if, like, we one day realize he's not only not alone in the universe, but we've been basically living among this godlike person that's abilities are almost limitless, and we have a choice to believe that he's here to help better us, or are we going to just take that he's a threat? That's really a neat way to like look at the whole Superman story. Casting wise, I was actually really happy with pretty much everyone. In fact, it's easier for me to just say who I didn't like, and sadly enough, I'm gonna say it's Amy Adams. She was the only really weak character for me, and that's sad because she's one of the main characters. And I don't think so because she gave a bad performance. I think it's just because I'm tired of her doing the same roles. She always seems to be doing like the strong female characters, and I think it's just tiresome of always seeing her do those type of roles. I like to see her like try something else. The whole relationship seemed kind of rushed between her and Clark as well. I don't know why they like kind of really rushed it. Like, you know, you don't really see this relationship between developing, you know, like them actually getting to know each other and like kind of, you know, fall in love with each other. It just seemed like, you know, naturally they just seemed like, oh, we should be together and stuff like that. There's no real development of this relationship. It's just by the end of the movie, spoiler, sorry again, they're just together. Like, you know, they get together, they have a romantic kiss at the end when he's saved the day. Because then there's the epic, like, between him and Zod, so like that, which is amazing. I'm not going to go into details of that at all because that would ruin the movie, especially if I get away at the end of that fight. But yeah, that was probably one of the best parts of the film, by the way. The epic fight between him and Zod is just amazing. And the special effects in general in the film, aside from one scene in the film with this weird tentacle fight, I thought was a little clunky and too much CGI in that film. But, you know, like, the fight scenes like that they show in the film and his flight, it's just spectacular. And one thing I have to say, I know none of the people of Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, are probably going to be watching this, but I just have to say one thing to them. For this abysmal, I think it was a 58, 59 rating, this. Fuck you. No. There's no way this movie deserves that kind of rating. Get your head out of your asses. No. Alright? This movie deserves way more. Maybe not a perfect rating, no. But it was a spectacular film and in no way deserves such an abysmal rating. Alright? Okay. I don't really have any kind of good movie news lined up for this video, and plus I feel like I took up enough time with just my review of the Man of Steel. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a day and say goodbye to you fine people. And until next time, bye.